I'm Nora Vale, 29, and I run a small pet care company in Seattle. My studio condo near South Lake Union is the first thing I bought on my own. The place that reminds me I can stand up without anyone's permission. Tonight I'm at my parents' house in Tacoma, packed around the dining table, when my brother leans back and smirks. Just admit it, Nora. You walk dogs. I manage seven-figure accounts fork stop. My mother studies her plate like it's a contract she can't read. Aunt Marlene snickers behind her glass. Heat crawls up my neck, but I keep my hand steady on the fork. The doorbell cuts through the room. Again. I stand. I'll get it, I say. Dylan chuckles. Try not to trip over a mediocrity. I open the door to the cool porch light, and there he is in a charcoal suit, quiet as ever. Evening, Marcus says, offering a deep blue box with a silver ribbon. Sorry I'm late, sweetheart. He steps inside. My mother freezes. My cousin Kira drops her fork. Dylan blinks. Mr. Hale? Marcus nods. Dylan, I didn't realize you were related to my wife. Silence lands like a book shut hard. I walk back to the table with Marcus beside me. He pulls out my chair. I sit. I told Marcus we were having your roast, Mom, I say evenly. He kisses my temple. She's my calm, he says. You should be proud. The betrayal here isn't just the insults. It's the years of them. And the fact that my family learns about my marriage. Only because I stopped protecting their comfort. If you were me, what would you do? Drop it in the comments. I read everyone. Growing up, Dylan's wins filled the fridge, mine filled a drawer. Mom's advice was always, don't take it personally. I learned to collect keys. First to a borrowed van for rescue runs. Then to this condo, because keys don't argue about your worth. When I met Marcus during a storm off Westlake, he was just Marcus. The stranger who walked 5 blocks with me and 6 damp dogs. I didn't know he ran Hale and Sable Capital. I only knew he listened. I don't tell my family because I already know the script. Envy dressed as concern. But Dylan pushes harder tonight. Louder, careless. And the quiet part of me that usually swallows it refuses to move. I decide this is the last dinner where I ask for space I already earned. Next comes the reason I kept everything private, and how the storm that brought Marcus to me starts reshaping more than one room in this house. The rain was coming down sideways the night I met Marcus. South Lake Union shimmered with reflections from neon storefronts, and I was halfway through my 3rd dog walk. Hood up, jeans soaked, sneakers squelching. 6 leashes tangled around my wrist, and still I was humming under my breath, trying to calm a skittish terrier. That's when I saw him. A man in a tailored coat stood beneath an awning. No umbrella, phone dark in his hand. He looked more stranded than powerful. Need help? I asked, not thinking twice. He glanced at me, then at the line of rain-coated dogs at my side, and actually smiled. Depends, he said. Are you offering? We walked 5 blocks together, rain dripping from his hair. He didn't talk about himself. Instead, he asked about me. I told him I'd dropped out of university when Mom got sick. That I'd built my pet care business from Craigslist flyers. That I still scribbled poetry in margins I never showed anyone. He listened like each word was stock worth holding. At the corner, thunder cracked and the Labrador pressed against my leg. Marcus bent down and scratched behind the dog's ears until it stopped shaking. That small kindness hooked me more than any luxury ever could. A week later, a delivery arrived at my apartment. 6 white roses, and a note that read, "For the girl who braved the storm and made me want to get drenched." It was signed simply, M. Months passed like chapters I didn't want to end. Midnight foe after his meetings, long walks with the dogs, weekends at hidden cabins outside the city. When he proposed on a pier under string lights, tacos in hand, I knew yes was the only answer. But I also knew what my family would call me. Lucky faker, opportunist, gold digger. So we kept it quiet. Not because we were ashamed, but because I was. Ashamed of how easily their voices still echoed in my head. Dylan smirks, Mom's silences, Dad's shrugs. I thought keeping Marcus a secret would protect him and me from their poison. But last night, when Dylan laughed across the dinner table, the plan unraveled. Marcus walked into that room and pulled the curtain back on everything I'd hidden. My brother's face when he realized was priceless. But this isn't about gloating. It's about no longer apologizing for living my life. And yet, as I sit here replaying the night, I know the real question isn't whether they'll accept Marcus. It's whether I can ever forgive myself for letting them make me small for so long. That answer waits in the next round of fallout. Because Dylan never takes humiliation quietly. The dining room is still heavy with the weight of Marcus's arrival. He hasn't raised his voice once, but every word he's spoken lands harder than Dylan's years of jabs. My brother sits stiff, his glass untouched, while Marcus calmly explains what he sees in me: dedication, grit, the nights I stayed awake walking shelter dogs in storms when no one else showed. Dylan scoffs. She walks mutts, Marcus. That's not a career. That's pity work. His voice cracks on the last word, though, and I catch the flicker of insecurity behind his bravado. Marcus doesn't flinch. Compassion is never wasted effort, he says evenly. In fact, it's what most of your colleagues lack. He pauses, his gaze steady. And it's the reason you won't be considered for promotion this quarter. The words slice sharper than any insult. Dylan blinks, then sputters, "You can't be serious. I've worked for that company for years." "You'll stay employed," Marcus interrupts, calm as stone. "But leadership requires judgment, not cruelty. You'll have to prove you're capable of more than belittling people to feel tall." My mother clears her throat, finally lifting her eyes from her plate. "Nora, why didn't you tell us? We're your family. We had a right to know." Her voice is thin, trembling more with embarrassment than concern. I meet her gaze. "You had a right to respect me first." Silence stretches. Aunt Marlene stirs her wine, pretending not to listen. My cousin Kira fumbles with her phone, pretending not to record. My father mutters, "So what's your plan now? Gloat from a penthouse?" I shake my head. "No, I'm going to keep running my business. Keep doing what I've always done. The only difference is I don't have to explain myself anymore." Marcus reaches over, threading his fingers through mine. "We didn't come here to humiliate anyone. Nora wanted to give her family one more chance. She thought tonight could be different." I look around the table, searching for one sign they might prove him right. None comes. Only the same silence I grew up with, the kind that let Dylan's words bruise me year after year. So I sit straighter. For the first time in my life, I don't shrink under it. If they want to keep laughing at me, they'll have to do it knowing I've already stepped out of their shadow. And soon, the world will see that too, because hiding isn't survival anymore, it's surrender. The next morning, I open my laptop and stare at the blank post draft. My fingers hover above the keys. My pulse quick but steady. For 7 months, I let my marriage exist in a bubble. Safe from judgment, safe from gossip. But last night showed me the truth. Silence only feeds their narrative. I upload a single photo, Marcus and me on our wedding day, his hand over mine. I smile, small but real. The caption is short. "To everyone who said I was a failure, meet the man who saw my worth when you never did." I hit post before I can second guess myself. The ripple is immediate. Notifications surge, my inbox pings nonstop. Friends from college send messages of shock and congratulations. Strangers comment, "Power couple goals?" My brother's coworkers are tagged within minutes. By noon, Dylan has gone dark on social media, his profile eerily silent. At Hale and Sable Capital, whispers fly faster than any market rumor. Executives stop Marcus in the hall with raised brows. Assistants gossip by the elevators. And Dylan, I hear, walks the trading floor with his jaw clenched, dodging stares. My private truth has detonated in public. That night, while Marcus works late, I stop by his office with takeout. His assistant lets me in, apologizing that Marcus is still in a meeting. I set the food on his desk, planning to wait. But then I see it, an open folder on his monitor, draft documents scattered nearby. The header reads, Proposed Q3 Restructuring unprepared by D. Vale. Curiosity pins me to the chair. I skim the list and feel the blood drain from my face. Luis Ortega, Marcus's secretary of 18 years, marked as low ROI, replaceable. Another line, a young mother recently back from maternity leave, emotionally taxing, limited future. Cold, clinical, ruthless. My brother's fingerprints all over it. I forward the file to myself quietly, heart hammering. This isn't just about office politics. It's about lives, families, people who gave years to a company Dylan sees as numbers on a spreadsheet. By the time Marcus returns, loosening his tie, I've closed the folder and steadied my breath. He smiles at me, unaware. I hand him chopsticks, but inside my mind is racing. Dylan's cruelty is no longer confined to family dinners. It's threaded into decisions that could ruin livelihoods. For years, I stayed quiet, hoping to survive his ridicule. But now I hold proof of something bigger than insults. And I know exactly what I have to do next. 2 weeks later, the boardroom at Hale and Sable buzzes with quiet confusion. Senior partners shuffle papers, glancing at each other, wondering why they've been called to a last-minute meeting. At the head of the table sits Marcus, composed as always. Beside him, there's an empty chair, mine. When I enter, the click of my heels cuts through the murmurs. I'm wearing a crisp white suit, hair tied back, expression calm but unshakable. I set a folder on the polished table and take my seat. Thank you for gathering on short notice, Marcus begins. Before we move forward with restructuring, my wife has something important to share. The room tilts. Some executives lean back skeptical. Others lean forward, curious. I open the folder and pass out copies of the document I found. The list of names Dylan flagged for elimination. This, I say evenly, is not strategy. It's sabotage. These are loyal employees. Luis Ortega, battling cancer, 18 years with the firm. Marissa Chen, back from maternity leave, marked as a burden. These are people, not disposable assets. A heavy silence follows. Eyes widen as they scan the notes. One partner mutters, low ROI? Who wrote this? Prepared by Dylan Vale. I reply. My voice doesn't rise. It doesn't need to. The weight is in the words. Jaws tighten. Chairs creak. Luis himself sits at the far end, his eyes glassy. Ma'am, I thought... He starts, but his voice cracks. I shake my head. You're not going anywhere, Luis. You've carried this company longer than most of us. You're staying. Marcus leans back, arms folded, letting me take the reins. His silence is trust. I continue. If anyone here thinks my appointment is ceremonial, let me be clear. I've walked these halls. I've seen who contributes with loyalty and who exploits power. We are not building Hale and Sable on the backs of discarded lives. The room holds its breath. No one speaks against me. Deep down, they know Dylan's cruelty isn't just offensive, it's a liability. Marcus finally speaks. Effective immediately, Dylan Vale is reassigned to an advisory role. No executive authority, no team leadership. Nora will lead the cultural review process moving forward. Gasps ripple, but no resistance comes. Dylan isn't in the room, but his shadow is. And today, it collapses under proof stronger than any dinner table insult. For the first time, I don't feel like I'm defending myself. I feel like I'm building something new. By the next morning, news spreads across the firm like wildfire. Executives whisper in glass-walled offices. Junior staff huddle near elevators. And Dylan walks the corridors stiff-backed, avoiding every eye. He knows what happened in that boardroom, even before Marcus calls him in. That night, security at our apartment buzzes up. A man named Dylan insists on seeing you. Should we let him up? Marcus looks at me. His expression is calm, but his eyes ask the question, "Do you want this?" I nod once. "Let him up." 20 minutes later, Dylan storms into our living room. His face is flushed, his tie crooked, and his pride in tatters. "You planned this," he spits, pointing at me. "You used Marcus to humiliate me." To take everything from me, I stay seated, my hands folded on my lap. "No, Dylan. You humiliated yourself. I just refused to cover for you this time." He paces, fists clenched. "I made one mistake. One, and you blew it up into a spectacle." "One mistake?" My voice sharpens. "You spent years making me the family's punchline. You laughed at my work, mocked my choices, and you did the same thing at the company. Only this time, people's livelihoods were on the line." Marcus finally speaks, voice low but firm. "She didn't set you up, Dylan. She showed the truth. And the board agreed Dylan rounds on him. You don't know her like I do. She's petty. She's vindictive." Marcus cuts him off. "No, I know the real Nora. The woman who works in storms when others stay dry. The woman who built something from nothing while her own family laughed. I see her worth clearly. Maybe you never wanted to Dylan's jaw works, but no words come out." His fists loosen. For the first time, I see not arrogance, but desperation. "You think kindness is weakness?" I say, rising to my feet. "But kindness is the only thing that lasts. And that's why you'll never lead." His face hardens, but he doesn't argue. He leaves without another word, the door closing behind him like the final note in a song that's run out of rhythm. For the first time in years, I don't cry after one of our confrontations. Instead, I sleep deeply, like someone who has finally stepped out of the shadows. The fallout comes faster than even I expected. Within a week, finance blogs and LinkedIn threads catch fire. CEO's wife exposes toxic restructuring plan. Hale and Sable redefines culture under new co-chair. My inbox floods with interview requests I decline. I don't need a spotlight. I just need my truth to stand. At the firm, Dylan's presence shrinks. He still walks the trading floor, but the swagger is gone. His colleagues avoid him, not out of respect, but pity. Rumors ripple that clients are requesting he be removed from their accounts. His once proud laugh is replaced with silence. At home, Marcus watches me carefully. One evening, as we share takeout on the balcony, he says softly, "You know the world's going to keep asking about us. About you, are you ready for that?" I think about the years of silence, the way I folded myself small at family dinners. Then I shake my head. No, I'm not ready, but I'm done hiding. So the next morning, I do what I never thought I would. I post again. This time, it isn't about Marcus's title or my family's cruelty. It's about me. A picture of me at the shelter holding a muddy rescue dog with a goofy grin. The caption, "I built a life walking dogs, and I'll never be ashamed of that. Passion matters more than prestige." The post explodes. Comments pour in from strangers saying they feel seen, from dog owners thanking me for the work I do, from women admitting they've been belittled for not fitting family molds. For once, the narrative isn't about being someone's sister, someone's daughter, or even someone's wife. It's about being me. But the silence from my family is deafening. No calls, no apologies, not even from my mother. Until one Sunday morning, an email pings in our old family group chat. Family brunch, grandma's house, noon. Marcus offers to come, but I shake my head. No, this is mine to face. When I walk into grandma's kitchen, the air smells like cinnamon rolls. My brother won't meet my eyes. My father clears his throat but says nothing. My mother forces a thin smile. For a moment, it feels like every old script is about to play again. Then Grandma stands. Tiny in her cardigan, but sharp as ever, she looks around the room before fixing her gaze on me. Well, she says, her voice slicing the silence. It's about time someone put Dylan in his place. Nora, you did good. You made me proud. My chest tightens. It's only 4 words, but they're the ones I've been waiting to hear my whole life. And now, finally, I do. I hug Grandma tightly, her frame fragile but her words stronger than anything else in the room. For a moment, I let myself breathe in that rare gift, being seen without conditions. When I pull back, my eyes sweep over the table. Dylan is pale, staring into his coffee like it might swallow him. My mother fidgets with her napkin, avoiding my gaze. My father's jaw is tight, as if speaking would cost him too much pride. I stay standing. I'm not here for a meal, I say, my voice steady. I'm here to say something I should have said years ago. Forks pause midair. The clinking stops. Every face turns toward me. I spent my life in this house waiting for respect that never came. You mocked my job, my choices, my clothes, my silence. You laughed while Dylan turned me into a joke. And Mom, you let it happen every time. Her eyes dart up, then down. I don't soften my tone. You had every chance to defend me. You chose not to. Mom whispers, I just wanted peace at the table. No, I say, sharper. You wanted silence. Peace doesn't come from ignoring cruelty. It comes from stopping it. Dylan finally speaks, his voice brittle. So what? This is revenge? You married Marcus just to humiliate me? I look at him, unblinking. No. I married Marcus because he loves me for who I am. The humiliation is your own reflection staring back at you. The room exhales, a mix of shock and discomfort. Grandma nods approvingly as if I've just passed some unspoken test. I'm not angry anymore, I continue. I'm just done waiting for you to be the family I needed. From now on, I'll decide who gets a seat at my table. The words land heavy, leaving a silence deeper than any insult. I turn toward the door, my pulse steady. Oh, and Dylan, I add, pausing. Next time you call someone a failure, make sure you're not talking to your future boss. Gasps ripple. Dylan's head snaps up, his face drained of color. My mother covers her mouth. My father's eyes widen just enough to betray surprise. I don't wait for replies. I leave with my head high, my grandmother's voice echoing in my chest. You did good. 3 months later, the inevitable happens. Dylan resigns quietly from Hale and Sable. No press release. No farewell luncheon. Not even a group email. Word trickles through the grapevine, blocked promotions, lost clients, and a growing reputation for recklessness. Marcus never speaks a word against him he doesn't need to. Numbers don't lie, and Dylan's numbers have collapsed. One afternoon, as I settle into my office, I notice an envelope slipped under my door. No return address, no neat typing, just my name in shaky handwriting. I open it carefully. Inside is a single sheet of paper. I deserved it. All of it. You showed me what strength really looks like. Not money, not titles, just grace under fire. I'm sorry. I'm not asking for forgiveness, only telling the truth. Dylan. I sit back, the letter trembling in my hands. For years, I dreamed of this moment. An apology. Recognition that I wasn't crazy or weak. Yet reading it now, I don't feel triumph. I feel closure. Some apologies are meant to be read, not relived. I fold the letter gently and lock it in my desk drawer. That weekend, I drive to the rescue shelter where it all began. The kennels smell of straw and soap. Dogs barking in uneven harmony. I slip into old sneakers and walk a shaggy mutt named Bramble through the park. Volunteers smile. Strangers nod. And for once, I don't shrink under their gaze. Because the truth is, I never needed revenge. I just needed to rise. And now, whether I'm in a boardroom in a tailored suit or ankle-deep in mud with a rescue dog, I carry the same lesson. Dignity isn't given, it's claimed. The world can whisper about wealth or titles, but I know better. Power doesn't roar. Sometimes it just walks dogs in the rain and waits until the moment is right. And when the silence finally falls around me, it's not empty. It's filled with the sound of their regret. The months that follow feel like stepping into sunlight after years underground. At Hale and Sable, the culture begins to shift. Employees once afraid to speak up now find their voices. Marcus and I host open forums where staff share ideas without fear of being dismissed. Loyalty deepens, productivity rises, and every time someone thanks me for fighting for them, I think of that night at the dinner table when I sat silent, knuckles white around a fork. That woman is gone. My personal life blossoms too. Marcus and I carve out small rituals between the chaos. Late night ramen after board meetings, Saturday mornings at the rescue shelter, Sunday evenings on the balcony with records spinning. He tells me often, "You're not defined by me. You're defined by what you've built." And for once, I believe him. Family, though, remains fractured. My mother emails sometimes, short, hesitant lines about holidays or birthdays. My father never writes. Dylan stays silent except for that letter, which still rests in my desk drawer, unread a second time. Grandma calls weekly, her voice steady as always, reminding me that pride can exist in places I never thought to look. One morning while walking Bramble at the park, a woman stops me. Aren't you a... She starts, eyes narrowing with recognition. I brace for gossip. Instead, she smiles. You're the one who stood up for herself. My daughter follows your posts. She said it gave her courage, I thank her, stunned, and realized something quietly powerful. My story no longer belongs to shame or secrecy. It belongs to anyone who's ever been told they're not enough. So I keep telling it. Through my work, through my choices, through every step forward. Because survival is quiet, but victory is louder when it's lived every day. And me? I'll keep walking dogs. I'll keep leading with heart. And I'll never again apologize for rising